So, if you want to know how you can connect with your child, connect deeply, authentically, feel really connected with your child, then today's video is for you because it's a real how-to video. And maybe it's like this for you, that you're really prioritizing connected time with your child. Maybe you're having a lovely bedtime with them. Maybe you're doing one-to-one time with each child when you can, but you're finding that it's not making the difference at other times. That at other times family life can be quite turbulent, or you're just feeling disconnected and you're wondering why that is, since you are prioritizing connection. So today I want to talk about how you can connect so that it actually makes the difference, so that you actually feel aligned in your parenting and see your child being their best self, And what I mean about feeling aligned in your parenting is that you're not believing one thing and doing something completely different, so that you kind of then have cause to kind of beat yourself up and all those things. But you're feeling like this is the parent I want to be, and I'm being it. This is what I want for you, that there's no more of that disconnect within, as well as more connection with your child. So I'm going to give you 10 tips today for how to connect with your child, 10 things that you can actually go away and do, because I know this is always really helpful. And so what are they? So first of all, celebrate who your child actually is. There's always loads to celebrate about a child, even if, in some aspects of the ways they express themselves, you don't approve of or you're not enjoying right now. And it's really worth thinking your way into their the kind of person they are. Supposing they're very boisterous, if you can celebrate inwardly the energy that they have, or say they're very chilled, if you can celebrate inwardly how relaxed they are as a being, it will help you kind of develop an acceptance, an allowance of their being, which may be very different to your being. Maybe your child is very different to you. This can present challenges. It can also present challenges if they're very similar. So it's no guarantee. But celebrating their existence and the type of energy that they have is really, really important, because it helps you to allow them to be as they are, which is a respectful, isn't it? And it helps teach them respect. So first of all, celebrate who they are, how they are, even if they're being rude, even if they've got special difficulties, or even if whatever, celebrate who they are and how they're showing up in life right now, right now. Secondly, get curious about the reason for your child's behavior. The part that you find maybe a little bit difficult, okay, get curious about the reason. And here's the thing, the point here is, when I say get curious, don't start asking loads of questions, because that can be very disconnecting, in fact. Instead, get curious in your imagination about why your child might be behaving like that. If it was a language, what would they be telling you? And this will help you connect with your child and feel more connected and respond to them in a more connected way. And the thing here is to trust that you do know, but you may not know that you know. You know why they're behaving like that. Just trust yourself and ask yourself, and you will find the answer. And then number 3 is acknowledge your child's point of view. Empathize with their point of view. This is actually a deeply mature act, because it involves putting your point of view aside, doesn't it, in order to make space for their point of view. But it's deeply connecting. This is about understanding and sharing your child's feelings and expressing that. And when you do that, that really touches children because it helps them feel understood. It helps them feel as if, even if you don't agree with them, that you understand them and you support them and you acknowledge them, you see them. So, so important. And the gift of it is that when you do this, your child learns to do it back. My 16-year-old will sometimes say to me, if I kind of moan about how much I have to do or something like that, he'll say, that sounds really hard, you know, in a very sweet way. But it doesn't need to take until they're 16. I remember one mum who started empathizing with her 3-year-old, um, uh, on one day. And by the end of the day, by the afternoon of that day, he was already expressing empathy to his 2-year-old brother. So this can be really instantaneous. It's a beautiful thing to teach children. Then fourthly, if your child wants something that you cannot give to them, say they want a phone or a particular toy, and for whatever reason, you're not going to be giving it to them, give it to them in fantasy. Give them what they want by simply talking about it. I remember I had a client once whose son liked these kind of rather ugly action figures, and she didn't want to get him any of these figures. And he managed to get hold of a kind of catalogue where all these figures were, and she didn't even like him looking in it. But what I advised her was this: spend time with him looking at the catalogue and talking about what fun he would have with these figures, what he would do with them if he had them, and give him, in his fantasy, in his imagination, those figures. But you don't need to give them in real life. Okay, number 5 is, this is really important if you want to connect deeply with your child. Avoid making your child feel wrong by using words like unacceptable or using punishments as well that make your child feel bad. Because when your child feels bad, they disconnect, not only from you, but they disconnect from themselves. They feel wrong inside. Instead, express what you want from them. And you may need to set some limit, but you don't need to do it in a punitive way or in a way that makes your child feel wrong. That's the difference. Then sixthly, initiate connected conversations about times of the day, or issues about times where things, couldn't get my words out there, times when things seem to go wrong in the family, or things that are an issue. And often parents say to me when I suggest this, yeah, but when I try to talk to him about it, he just switches off. He won't talk to me, or she won't talk to me. And this is because, and you might recognize yourself here, they're saying, they're starting the conversation by saying, I'd like to have a conversation with you about the way you shouted at me earlier. So any child who hears something like that is going to shut down. You need to start that conversation by using step 3, which was acknowledging their point of view. So what I mean is saying something like, you must have felt awfully, maybe you felt unfairly judged or disappointed or hurt when I snapped at you earlier. I've just been thinking about that, and carry on in that vein as a way into the conversation. So talk about their feelings, and then you'll have a more successful conversation, a connected conversation that will connect you both. Seventh step is be humorous. Use humor. I remember the time in Devon when we were climbing up a steep hill, and my 4-year-old, I think he was 4, got really left behind, and no amount of persuading, shouting, whatever would work. But then I plucked a leaf from the hedgerow and stuck it up my nose and said, I've got a strawberry plant growing up my nose, come and see. And then he ran up the hill. And there's so many other examples I can't think of now, but humor is a great connector. Oh yes, I know what. If you're stuck for something, just use a little squeaky voice, or make some funny noises, or pull some funny faces, do some funny walks. That lightens the atmosphere and really helps you connect with children. It's that element. Okay, so humor we've done. Then number 8, have fun together. Do things with your child that they enjoy, that you both enjoy, preferably. I remember I used to do a lot of painting with my son, because I liked painting, but actually he didn't really enjoy it. It was more something I felt I should introduce him to. So to connect with your child, do things that you know they enjoy and that you enjoy. My son and I enjoy going for walks and we enjoy going out to eat together. So this is, what we do together. And so yeah, find things that are fun for you, fun for your child, and do them. And then number 9, this one, I mentioned it at the beginning. Spend one-to-one time with your child, and make timetables for your family so that each of you, if you're parenting with another partner, with a partner, can spend one-to-one time with each child. You may not be able to do this every day, every week even, but just timetable it in. It's been called different things by different experts. I love the name love bombing and that phrase was coined by Oliver James, a psychologist. And it's the heart of this time is that you have no agenda for it. You are fully available and able to go with the flow of what your child wants to do. This is very, very connecting. It's very nurturing. It makes them feel really important and seen and heard and loved. So number 10, and this isn't strictly a tip for connecting, but it underpins everything. It's about looking after your own needs. And this is so important because we can't, as I said earlier, it's quite a mature step to make your child's needs and their point of view more important than your own. And you can only do it if your cup is full, or nearly full. If your cup is empty, then you just can't. So it's hugely important. I know that I say this often. I really want you to hear that message. So what are you going to do this week to look after yourself, to take care, even if it's just an early night? I did that last night, just realized, connected into myself. What do I need? I just am tired. I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. It's as simple as that. I know this is not always easy when you've got young children to go to bed when you feel like going to bed. If you're in that situation, make a plan with your partner, with friends, so that you can meet your needs for rest and play. So I hope this helps you connect with your child. You know them so well. You are so deeply, deeply connected. It's really just about activating that connection. It's about activating that connection in these ways so you can feel it. And if go away, try some of these things out. And if you want some personalized help, maybe to find out what's getting in the way of you and your child connecting, then do take advantage of the complimentary calls, the few complimentary calls that I make available every month, because they're a gift, really. And on these calls, you get to be heard, and we get to shine a light on what's happening in that sacred space between you and your child. And you'll come to realizations, you'll come to new ideas and understandings. And there's no obligation to work with me after that. But if we are a good fit, I'll be more than happy to tell you how that looks and how that works, and what you can expect to be different afterwards, how you can expect your life to look after you've done a piece of work like that. So if you're curious, do book in with me. It's unaalexander.co.uk/let's hyphen talk. And there's no apostrophe in let's hyphen talk. So lots of love to you. I hope this was very helpful, and see you soon.